Welcome to Gamertag Radio episode 1300, and this is part 2 of our Starfield review, and this time is with Pete. Pete and I, we recorded this, and it's over an hour. Of course, we talked about the game, and then towards the end of the episode, we answered questions from the listeners. So enjoy the show.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Peña, the always opinionated Paris Lily, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
All right, so we're back here at Gamertag Radio, and yes, we started a conversation with Paris about Starfield, and now the second half we're going to continue with this conversation. This is going to be a long episode. So this time we have all the way from Switzerland, we have Pete. What's up, Pete?
Not as far as the Starfield away from California, but it does kind of feel like that sometimes, right?
yeah. Nah, but everything has been good with you, right? Playing the game nonstop.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't want to give away too much during this intro part. So, but yeah, it's been exciting and it's been interesting all at the same time to try to capture and see the vision of Todd and the rest of the folks at Bethesda for delivering this, right? I mean, it's what, a quarter century in the making, I think is what they're saying about this game. So it's it's not all that often that we as gamers get to have that moment, right? Where it's the first time in 25 years for a developer to drop something as momentous and as big in scale as they're trying to push Starfield. So I'm glad I'm part of the founding team to play, or group to play it, right? It's pretty exciting if you think about it.
Yeah, and I was saying this to Paris for my character. I have a beast hunter, so I'm curious which what type of class you decided for this one, and also like, did you add any traits in there? It was just strictly just a class, or what for you?
Well, I thought you had no choice. You had to pick the class and the traits, right? You had to go.
No, you could.
Oh, really?
No, you could. Yeah, because I was like, no, I'm not doing that, because I was looking at it. There was a couple where. There was one where you could pay, like you get a house and then you have to pay mortgage every
no. I wasn't about
weeks
all
or
that.
whatever.
I wasn't about
also,
all that.
Another one also, like you have your family, you're also sending money to your family. There's different other ones, and I'm like, I don't like none of these. But I was just like, I just want to just create a class and go for it. So you actually selected something, because remember, depending on your traits, you can unlock more quests, more stuff that is not available for me, because I just went straight to the class and that's it. So there's benefits with that, and this also will make the game kind of challenging too, in a way, because you might be broke, you might get hurt even more. It's different type of ways,
so let's go in reverse order. Let's go backgrounds and then the traits. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. So you said you went Beast Hunter.
Beast Hunter.
I was stuck between, I think it was Ronin and Bounty Hunter, but because of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to play the game, I picked Bounty Hunter, which honestly, if you think about it, I think that might be the most popular pick, right?
Yes.
Knowing Paris, he probably went Bounty Hunter as well because of his love and fascination with Cowboy Bebop, right? And that's how he came up with his name, his gamer tag, his title, Vicious, etc. That's his thing. So I'm fairly certain he went with Bounty Hunter, and I think he might have posted once or twice some things on Twitter. But yeah, I picked Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter.
Okay. Why did you pick Beast Hunter?
I just love being a hunter. I love close combat. I was also looking at the type of skills that it has too, that helped me. But also, I I really was focusing on after a while, like I was upgrading my skills a lot with the ship side, ship skills section, where it also helped me to create more damage. I could travel further, better shield, a bunch of other things that I added in there. I think I only have like 2 skills left on that whole page of ship.
Damn.
But also, I was also upgrading the social side. I want to have better conversation. Hey, I want to, gas somebody up. So they can change conversation, persuasion. Yes, I've done that. And I did also science because I also wanted to create, better crafting, also to find better minerals. And depending where you go on different planets around the galaxies and all that stuff. So yeah, that's how I managed to do it. But again, traits, I have 0 traits for me.
0 traits. Interesting.
0 traits. Yeah. I know at first it looks like you have to add a trait, but you don't have to. You don't have to at all. And here's the thing too, Pete. And this is the same conversation I'm behind with Paris, is that depending on your choices and the things that you do in the game, we're all gonna have different experience with skills, with conversation, with quests. Like I right now I'm just working on a quest because I've been talking to members of my crew. Once you get to know them more, they will trust you and they will tell you more about them, and then you will unlock special quests only of that person that you've been talking to the whole time. So like I have one of my members, her name is Sarah. She's been trying with me everywhere. There's other guys that I met too. His name is Sam. Other people. I don't want to say much, but they right now I'm working on a quest that I just unlocked because now I'm very, very close with one of my companions and stuff. So and it's been really, really good. But also, have you been? How has it been for you? Like the quests and just the experience overall with Starfield for you?
So I picked 3 traits, not knowing you couldn't pick any. Right? I thought they were mandatory as part of the character creation, which I do want to talk about. Right? As usual,
sure.
The character creation process did take up considerable time, probably the first hour, because like you're trying to fine tune your character or whatever. But I know I did Freestar Collective Settler. So I have in conversations, I get actual like 3-star collective conversation points that I could use when I'm talking to somebody. And if I'm talking to somebody who's within that same faction, it actually adds towards the persuasion. So I figured, okay, that'd be pretty cool. But there is a downside to it, right? Crime bounty against other factions, right? Will be increased, right? So if I do something against Enlightened or Universal or Serpent's Embrace, then my bounty will be more. So I have to be kind of cautious when I'm doing activities, good or bad, right? It could offend another person. It could offend a street rat or terra firma or whomever. But yeah, that's what I picked. I picked terra firma as well. So funny because you're in a space game, but you're never acclimated to space. But your health and oxygen is increased when you're on the surface of a planet. And so I knew that I assumed that most missions would occur on a planet. So I figured, okay, let me give myself that advantage of not being starved for air, especially in a game where movement can somewhat be penalized because you're in a planet with different oxygen mixtures, different gravity. So you can't jump, or you can jump, but it takes a lot more, exertion on your body. So you lose oxygen and you start trending towards CO2 which could potentially hurt you in the middle of a battle. And I think just to do something weird or actually closer to myself, I picked introvert. Because
I was thinking about getting that one too.
Because I mean, yes, I'm married. I do a podcast. I have friends, but I am an introvert at heart, right? So And one of the traits for an introvert is exerting yourself uses less oxygen when you're doing it, when you're adventuring alone. But when you have other human companions, you use more oxygen. But think about that. You're in a spacefaring video game, adventuring with other human companions. All right, fine. I'll get to a point where I'll just get rid of all the human companions if I can get robots or aliens, and then boom, I don't have a problem anymore. So you could,
yeah, go ahead.
That was the thought process between me and I want to say I probably spent almost as much time picking traits and backgrounds as I did character customization. Going through body type and hair and skin and ears and nose. And while I still don't think I got it 100% correct, hell, I don't even think I got it 50% correct of what I look like. Because part of that was also the excitement to get into the game and actually play it, which was cool to find out after we selected, my character and did all the creation. You can still go to a medical facility and get plastic surgery to work on it and fix it and get it closer to what you want it to look like, whether it's more closer to what you really look like, or if you just want to go, if you want to go out there and just really transform your appearance to something completely different. I thought that was a cool option.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, Pete. So, and I talked about this with Paris, but for me, I really enjoy this game. Like, I love Starfield. I have 50 plus hours now, playing this nonstop every day. Just play. I've been also switching a lot from like the PC to like consoles. I'm actually, from the console side, I've been playing more on the Xbox Series S. And there's a reason why I've been playing on that console more, because I have S screen. So I'm there hanging out with Ree while she's playing Starfield. I'm playing on the smaller screen on the Series S, right? So, but from the console side, of course, I've been playing there. But PC, very, very smooth. At the time that I'm recording this, still, maybe there might be an update. I'm not sure that will fix this, but it didn't have ultra widescreen for PC. Just want to mention that very quick. Maybe once the update comes out, maybe that changes, but just want to bring that up very quick. But one of the things I was telling Paris is, look, I love the game, but I wish in the future there's like a little minor things that I think Bethesda should update the game to make the experience a lot easier and better. So one of the things that I've been having issues is inventory, which sometimes I have way too many things. Like I know the previous games, you could highlight your inventory, like your item, as junk. Go to an area, you could either throw it away or all in one shot, or sell it to like stores or different places and stuff. I wish it was a lot easier instead of going one by one selling it, because I think that takes forever. And also another issue that I had, which again I repeated this with Paris, is where the companions sometimes gets in the way during battles.
Yes.
So like, for example, I had Vasco. He's my robot companion in the beginning. Sometimes he's behind me shooting and I didn't know. And I'm trying to go back while I'm shooting, and I feel like I'm trapped, and I get killed because he's right behind me, not moving, all that stuff. So like little things like that, I just wish the game gets better through time when it comes to like updates and stuff like that. But overall, I'm loving this game. Like I'm loving just discovering new planets, discovering new items, new quests, new people to join me and stuff. And I know people are going to be asking a lot of questions about story, or once they get it, they're going to be rushing this to play it, the main campaign and everything. And honestly, this is one of those games where this is not about the story. This is about discovering tons of stuff that is going to take forever for you to unlock almost everything in there. There's planets where you have to be level 70, level 80 to get in there. Like I'm so curious how it is over there. There's other planets where I was just curious. I just grabbed the planet, highlighted, landed in there, and I just walked around and I discovered a cave. I see items in there just because I showed up randomly, you know? So that's the thing that I really, really love about this game is just every day I'm discovering something new. Every day I'm unlocking new quests. And when I have this conversation with you and with Paris, we all have a different experience, which is dope. So imagine in the future, once they start adding mod support where the mod community can now create quests and missions and stuff in different planets, the tons of content that we're going to see, like the game is not going to be the same a year from now. It's going to be a totally different beast that I can see myself playing years to come for me. But I just want to hear your thoughts about your thoughts about the game and the experience and everything like that.
So if we add up all the numbers, I think I'm at about 13 to 15 hours of gameplay, right? I think at this point, I definitely see myself playing this much longer term than other games that have come out this year, because of the vast dearth of things to do, right? Whether it's a fetch a quest, whether it's a battle, whether it's purely investigative because I want to learn how to pilot my ship better. I'm a horrible pilot. I want to say it took me probably 30 minutes figuring out how to dock the first time. I was like,
oh, really? Okay.
I was like inverting the plane to try to get it in the right angle, crashing it. I almost wrecked my ship. But there's so much to do, right? It's whether you're trying to find new crew members because maybe some of the crew members you hired weren't the best. By the way, when you hired some of your crew, were you able to persuade them like to accept less money?
No. I think it's just me having a conversation. They're like, hey, you know what? You're cool. I'll join you. I'll So far, the majority has been like that.
Okay.
Now, another thing I want to mention about the ship, Pete, is, in the beginning, I was struggling with the ship because of different reasons. Of again, when you start the game, your ship is very small.
Yeah.
You don't have that much fuel. Shield is not the highest. Missiles and everything there, weapons is not the greatest, right? But where I'm at in the game, I bought multiple ships, and I also stole the ship from a pirate. Multiple ships I stole. Those ships were good, but I actually bought a big ship. Now I can have more crew members, better shield, way better weapons with missiles and everything like that. And you could upgrade your ship eventually later. But in the beginning, I was struggling because there was missions like I go to a planet and I go to that planet and there's enemies waiting for me outside and they kill me like this right away. I'm like, oh man, this is tough because it's me versus 4 ships, right? I'm like, how the hell am I gonna do this, right? So, but couple of things that I did. One, save money, start doing quests, save money. Now I have enough money. Now I could buy a ship. But also another tip that I'll mention this to people that listen to this is third-person view, ship third-person view, because now you have a bigger range of like things to see, a lot better than just first person because it's so close and you're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot better when you change it third person. Now, when you're running around doing quests, I prefer first person. So like people are gonna have their type of style, which is good. You have different options. But now, Pete, I could go to other galaxies, other solar systems. I mean, very, very far away that I don't need to stop to a certain area in order for me to get there because I don't have that much fuel. Right. But now with the bigger ship, I just click, boom, and then go all the way there. And it's far, far away. So in the beginning, you're going to be like this. But I think later on, once you start upgrading and figuring things out, you're gonna go far, far away, man. And plus, getting the right members.
Right. So, the team that I have, one, I think it's Sarah, the same chick you have.
Sarah. Yeah.
She's a physicist and she does well with ships, and the other guy that I have does well with targeting ships. So I'm not worried so much about the battle portion of it because those two are good with lasers and with ship ballistics. And my character I think the trait also includes being able to. One of them is, I don't know, one of the ones that I had selected, I think it might even be Bounty Hunter, piloting and targeting control systems. So I am able to hold my own against multiples. I didn't think about shifting back into third person. I may take a look at that later tonight, which I want to say on PC is super cool. Scroll back on the mouse. Done. On PC, it is so quick and easy to just scroll back on the mouse and go into third person view. So that is, but it is something I will take into consideration later when I play today. As far as in-game play, though, obviously, if you've played a Fallout, gameplay is extremely similar to it. Obviously, you know that's what they do, right? But I also felt it gave me kind of like Dead Space vibes. It also gave me No Man's Sky vibes, which I honestly, if you talk to people who've maybe seen a video or two or seen the trailer, would understand that, right? Whether it's being on a planet and looking for minerals or exploring and looking at animals, etc., or going into battle and transitioning, which is super seamless. You could be sitting there, you know, pulling minerals off a planet, see something that you either want to go for or you're getting attacked by a creature that you hadn't seen. Boom, you can just switch transition. It's been very, very interesting, especially going into some battles where you go in and you don't have to fight somebody. I paid somebody 4,000 credits just so I didn't have to fight. You know, and it was like, it was one of the main missions in the thing. It was like, okay, you could pay $4,000 or you can go and have a conversation. I paid 4,000 and then ended up having an opportunity to talk to them and potentially bring them onto our side of the of the faction, which I was like, I hadn't ever really thought of that as like a writing angle for a video game, right? To juxtapose from you are my enemy to look, here's some bread, leave me alone, to would you like to join us as a group, as a larger group / faction? And that is not something you usually see in a video game. It's usually very linear. It's a yes, no tree, and like yes, no. If it's yes, then it does this. If it's no, there's never really like a wrap back to, hey, I know we had our differences, but can we be cool now and continue doing our own things as a larger group? That goes to, I guess, explains why you have a 25-year development cycle basically from this thing, right? Space travel for me, obviously you've got way more hours on it than I do. So, you know, like you said, you've got multiple ships. I have upgraded it. I probably spent a lot more time than I needed to coloring every single specific piece to specific colors. But I mean, that goes to show the level of customization to make this game truly yours as a player, right? It gives you an opportunity to say, okay, I'm gonna, you know, this, like, it's one of the most anticipated games for reasons, right? A, character creation, B, to be able to make everything your own and to truly just immerse yourself into Starfield in general. So I've been having a lot of fun with it at this point. Who knows where we'll go in the next 15, 20 years. I think it'd be cool for us to maybe do an end of the year run of, okay, where are you at? Where are we at? Kind of like,
I'm down.
Like a Starfield check-in. Like, okay, by then, what was it? Todd Howard said he had like 150 hours already, and that it's just then that it starts to break into the real game. So when all of us are at $150 plus, right? I'd love for us to jump back up on a call and be like, okay, where are we at? Has our opinions of the game changed in either direction, right? Positive or negative, from today, right? To see how we like it. Has it met our expectations? Be interesting to see and read the critical responses from people on the internet, because we know they always have an opinion about everything. So I think it'd be fantastic to try to understand how we've evolved with our mentality towards the game, how the industry or the, you know, or the general public has has either continued with their anti-Microsoft rhetoric, or have they maybe changed sides? I've seen it already on Twitter of people saying, just from what they've seen, whether it be the leak or whatever, whether what they've seen on the short form videos. I know that there's other stuff like Made for Wanderers, which is like a video on YouTube, to see how and where they are in general as how they feel with Starfield.
Yeah, I think look, everybody's gonna have different opinions about the game and reviews from the major media and creators and everything that got the game early, right? But the true thing that I think is gonna stand out and completely change the conversation is when the gamers get this game and start playing, because again, they're gonna be discovering stuff that us reviewers we totally missed it.
Yeah.
There's gonna be things, people building ships. Like just the other day, I saw a leak of somebody created the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
I'm like, wait, what? What? It's like things like that. The stuff that people are gonna discover that we are gonna be like amazed and surprised. That's when the game is a game changer. It's beyond the story, it's beyond the quest, it's beyond discovering, all these other planets and the people and all that stuff. Like, man, that's the part I'm very excited to see in the future. And you're right, we should do every few months. We do like a Starfield check-in, and we'll talk about it. Like, hey, this is going on, because there's going to be tons of updates. There's going to be tons of stuff they're probably going to add in the future, and especially the mod community. Bro,
they're gonna go nuts. They're gonna go
nuts with that, man. So yeah, and here's the thing. This is Xbox most important game in the history of the company, since when it comes to new IPs. All right. The only game that I can think of, because I talked about with Paris the other day. Actually, he came here to visit. We were hanging out. We were talking about it. The only game that I can think of that was this high of like a buzz for Xbox as a brand new game, brand new IP, was Gears, the first Gears game. I can think of anything else after that from Xbox first party that has this type of buzz for like a brand new game that they're releasing. So Starfield, it's gonna be good, man. There's gonna be YouTube channels of people just daily posting content of stuff that they worked on. Like I know I've seen videos of Zelda linked, the new Link Zelda game that came out for the Switch, of people building all kinds of stuff, and they show it there online, and I'm like, yo, I could see Starfield doing the same exact thing, man. The same exact thing.
It definitely has the opportunity for it. Obviously, gamers / consumers, we're fickle, right? Our opinions can change on a dime based on either a bad experience or a bad conversation with somebody. I would likely agree with you that this is probably the closest in hype, expectation, anticipation that Microsoft has had with a new IP in a long, long time. And I agree. I don't think we've seen anything like this since Gears of War. That excitement of seeing what'll probably be the best sign for that will be the day after the night of the launch, when it goes live, when the rest of the world gets to see that first 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
To actually where it's no longer watching someone's, watching a curated video from Microsoft or from Bethesda. It's no longer watching a leaked video or produced content tailored for it, because it's always going to be hyper edited and made to look as beautiful as humanly possible. But when people get to experience it for themselves the very first time, like I remember the first time playing Halo. I remember the first time playing I remember the first time playing PUBG, and that was more jank than code, if anything. Games like DayZ, Gears, all of those give you different emotions because it's the first time you're playing it. Earthworm Jim, going back to the old days, playing games that had really bad console graphics, playing baseball on the old Atari PC where we loaded the game with cassette tapes. Those are those core gamer memories that we as gamers cling to because they give us so much enjoyment. Mm-hmm. The anticipation for this is it is huge, obviously, right? But I can't wait, like you said, to see/hear the reactions of people to play all of these, to play through their own bespoke experiences and find things that none of us knew even existed. Like, I'm sure the developers, because they're the ones who created the code, but how they're going to use their own creativity and experiences to do things that we never anticipated. Like, I never thought of trying to build the Millennium Falcon, but now I have an idea of what I want to build. I'm not going to say it, but now I have an idea of what I want to build and see if I can do it. Obviously, I'm going to have to put a lot more hours in it because I have to buy ships and modifications and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I want to do that now. Now I'm like, now I've got something else I want to get to, but I've got to put that on hold because I got to do the rest of the game to build up credits and skill sets and whatnot, and staff, etc. Yeah, I could definitely see myself. And again, hopefully at some point this becomes Steam Deck compatible, because then I could take this on the road. I'm not hamstrung by my PC here, my desk in my house, whether it's on the Steam Deck or if I have to go out. I don't want to buy a gaming laptop. I'm sure my wife doesn't want me to buy another gaming computer event device thing. But it's something I have to consider now, right? It's like, damn, especially for a game like this that I know is going to suck hours out of my life. I'm hoping that at some point it becomes viable to play. I'm not saying it's going to be certified, because I know Todd Howard's already said that that's something that's on their to-do list down the road. They're focused on the launch right now. But yeah, I want to see it. I want to see it on my Steam Deck. I want to be able to play it because I've got some 8 to 12 hour flights. 8 to 12 hour flights coming up for work. I would love to spend 8 to 10, maybe not 8 to 10 hours, right, on an airplane. That's kind of long. But I would love to have that opportunity to do that.
You know what? And I want to mention this too, which I haven't got there yet, and I'm doing this on purpose because I don't want to finish the game that quickly. Because I think there's people that I know completed the campaign 25 to 30 hours, but they were just focusing just on the campaign, no side quests, nothing. In my opinion, if you really want to enjoy and truly know about truly know more about the game, do the side quests, take your time. But here's the crazy thing that I just read recently, and this is from Pete Hines from Bethesda. He says, Starfield doesn't really even get going until players finish the main quest. And I know this because we got a review copy. In there, it says that this game also has New Game Plus and is completely changed some stuff in the game. I don't know what exactly because I haven't gone there yet. But P. Hines has already 80 hours. 80 hours. And it's still you still haven't seen the stuff in this game by reaching that number. That's crazy. Insane. And right now it says here at that time of the interview where he says here also the Bethesda veteran until he had sunk 130 hours into the game. He completed the game, the whole thing, 50 hours. But once he hit 130, that's when the truly get to see more stuff in there. Way after the main quest. This is crazy. Insane. I can't wait to see that once I reach to that part of the game.
I mean,
but
it's wild and it's ambitious, but I think this is something that the industry has needed for a while. we've gotten a little stagnant. I think in general with overall genres and game types, where a lot of them are, I don't want to say copycats because I don't want to diminish the work of developers. But we're seeing a lot of things being mimicked and copied. And yes, I get it. It's most industries do a lot of the same thing, right? Whether it's, you look at it in sports, successful team gets successful, everybody starts to copy the game plays and play styles and particular, patterns, etc. You see it in electronics. One company gets popular or famous for a certain technology, and then next thing you know, they're being copied. So it's no surprise that we're seeing it in gaming, but I'm excited to see how now, they've come out and said, okay, we're just going to give you a long form Fallout in space with, 1,000+ planets that you can explore, and all the, you can create your own settlement in Starfield. You can find a planet, blank slate, launch it, build it up, do whatever you want, or you could do all of that in space, as opposed to doing that. And so they said, 34 hours of main story, hundreds of hours, 100+ hours of side quests, and then just 200 and maybe 200+ hours to explore every nook and cranny to get 100% completion. I don't know if this is even something that I can do 100% of.
No, there's no way you could do 100%. Like there's stuff here that's gonna be hard, man. Because remember, in the game, there's gonna be locations where you have to be there at a certain time with certain person. Like it's a lot, and there's stuff that I have. Again, I'm not mentioning anything in the story. Even the story gets the game even more complicated based on your choices, and there's stuff that you unlock as a side quest. And also, sometimes I walk around at a city and somebody's just standing there, just like hanging out, be like, hey, can I talk to you, man? And right there, a new activity or a new quest pops up.
I noticed that. It's like, I didn't want that in my thing. I like having a clean, side mission quest list. And then I could just be walking in the middle of the street and somebody talks in the corner. I got a mission board now. And I'm like, man, why'd you do this? I didn't want to do that. I wanted a clean mission board. Now you got to be going off on this mission for you. But it is cool how you don't have to be going. You could just literally be sitting there at walking into a store and hear someone in the corner talking about something, and now it's a mission for you to help complete. And again, it's your choice to accept it or not. But it's rather cool and unique how they steer you, in a sense, towards different directions, or give you the opportunity to go into a direction that you may have never gone, but because you heard this person talking, and next thing you know, oh, that sounded cool. Let me jump in. Let me see if I can help. And that's, you don't really see that a lot very often in a lot of games, right? Usually it's a linear progression game on a rails, and you might have one or two side quests. But that one conversation could potentially take you on to many. Into a totally different direction than what you started the game at, which is why I think it'd be great for us all to have that 6 month, 3-6 month check-in of, okay, you started as a bounty hunter. Are you still a bounty hunter? You started as a beast hunter. Are you still a beast hunter? You know what I mean? Like you started off with all these ideas and thoughts, and then next thing you know, Danny's a chef on a random planet with a restaurant, and he's making buku bucks or something. Or, Paris goes and he's, next thing you know, he's a sculptor, and he's what I mean? It's just, I want to see how or if those things happen, right? Like, do we go and do we follow that path all the way through, or do you deviate and all of a sudden, I'm no longer a bounty hunter, now I'm a cyberneticist playing with robots and lasers and making implants for people. It just, there's so many cool little options. I want to see how that works for us.
This is Gamertag Radio.
College football fans, are you ready for week one? DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking you up with a can't-miss offer to start the season strong. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on college football and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Anything can happen in college football. Your team could go from unranked to dynasty mode in just a couple of years, and change comes fast. The only thing that's a lock is the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. Life's more fun when you're in on the action, so please download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code GTR. New customers score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet $5 on college football, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code GTR. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resorts, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
And this is something that we haven't never done this before that we're gonna do on this one, Pete.
Yeah.
But before we do this, I know it's early for you, but do you see this as Game of the Year contender, in your opinion? Again, you don't have enough hours like us, but just want to hear your thoughts. I know it's very, really early for you.
It's hard to say.
Okay.
I can definitely see how it has a chance to get up there.
Okay.
But think of all the games that have come out this year that it's got to go up against. Diablo 4, obviously my most anticipated game of the year right now. And that has checked off every box all day long, every day. Mm-hmm. Legend of Zelda Tears of Kingdom. You've got Jedi Survivor. You've got Dead Space Remastered that came out really, really well done at the beginning of the year. Remake.
Yeah.
You've got Baldur's Gate 3 that's out. You've got, and that's up to now. You know, we still got the monsters that are coming out later, right? You got Alan Wake 2 that's supposed to be coming out.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. Remnant 2 is a strong game as well. There's so many games this year. Yeah, this is going to be up there with potentially one of, that 97, 2007 best year in gaming conversation. And it's going to make deciding on a specific title as one title of being best. And I haven't even thrown out, Horizon Call of the Mountain or, Final Fantasy 16.
There's a lot of stuff there.
There's a lot of titles out there, man. There's a lot of games. Hi-Fi Rush.
Rush. That's
Age of,
one, yeah.
Minecraft Legends. There's so many titles that have come out and have yet to come out that are going to be, high contenders. Top 5. I don't know if I could put it in there yet, but I think it's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this month or next month if this game is up there again. Like I said, Spider-Man 2 is going to shift some
wild.
things left or right in that list. It's definitely going to come in there and it's going to flex its elbows and make decisions harder than they already are.
Now we have some questions from the fans, so this is like the special edition, Pete, fan mail. So I'm gonna do a section for this section of the conversation. Also, I'm gonna do it with again with Paris. So it's time for fan mail.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
Starfield edition. There you go. All right, so this is a pretty good question. Look, and shout out to Arctic. He asked a couple questions, which I'm gonna answer some of these here, and I'm gonna save some. And I think more people are gonna be adding more questions later. So, all right, this is more for the PC side, Pete, because he has a PC / laptop. So, for those playing on PC, does not have a screaming setup or less than recommended specs, would you recommend certain settings to get more frames or better graphics?
I mean, it's always going to be difficult to have the conversation without having your PC in front of me. Knowing that I think it was minimum 2080 was the minimum specs. As long as you've got something around that, you should be fine. And also take into consideration, you're only playing it at 30 frames, right? I've got a pretty bitchin' gaming setup. I won't lie. I am rather proud of my build, right?
Sure.
I've got i5, 13600K. I've got 32 gigs of RAM. I've got a 3080 Founders Edition. That said, it plays butter smooth. Thank you. I'm finally playing a Bethesda game that didn't poop the bed on launch, right? Because that's generally the complaint of every game. You know what? Maybe it was the delay that they gave it earlier in the year that they said, we're going to give it 6 more months in the oven to let it bake. Maybe that's what they needed to do, and I'm thankful for it. Will there probably be a day one patch? Probably, because there's, it's hard, especially for PC, to account for every single potential component and incompatibility, whether you're mixing and matching Intel or AMD components, or a certain driver because you've got an MSI motherboard and an AMD video card causes a conflict. It's near impossible to account for everything with PC gaming, which is why console gaming is so popular and so well received. It takes that worry out of your hands as a consumer. You can just play because it's already been accounted for. That said, the Starfield, and I'm actually going to look these up live. You're looking at a Ryzen, or your CPU, Ryzen 5 3600X or an i5 10600K is your minimum CPU for graphics. RX 6800 XT or an RTX 2080. 16 gigs of RAM, which has quickly become the norm for a lot of video games these days. I know there's some that even say that the recommended is 32, but 16 sounds about right. And 125 gigs on the SSD, which could be a problem for some people playing on Steam Deck, which is likely why Todd Howard was like, you know what, I don't want to answer or touch that question right now, because the Steam Deck only comes with 64 built in. And if you want to play it, you got to play it on, you're likely going to have to either split load it or load it fully on that SSD. So that kind of explains why. And it'll require Windows 10 or 11 and then DirectX 12.
Yep.
But
now another PC question here, and this is again from Arctic. For PC, how is the game on keyboard / mouse versus using a controller? Do you prefer one over the other? During dogfighting, do you see one being easier than the other? Now, Pete, for me, I've been using a controller the whole time. I haven't even bothered using the mouse and keyboard because I'm just not good with that. But with the controller, has been great. It's easier for me. Great to control my ship. Great to control my character. It's a lot easier. So now for you're a PC gamer. I know you love playing mouse and keyboard. How's it been your experience playing mouse and keyboard for you?
I've had very little issues with it. It's actually been rather easy for me. The fact that there isn't really a starting like walkthrough guide of what every little thing does is a little maybe adds more confusion or conflict to the learning curve, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. It just forces you, again, go back to my story of not knowing how to land the ship. having to go into the help menu and figuring out is as simple as pressing 2 buttons on the keyboard. But I haven't connected my controller while playing it. It might make dogfighting a little bit easier now that I think about it, but I don't know if it transitions. I know that playing, like for example, when Diablo 4 launched, I was playing it solely on PC during all the betas, but I decided, you know what, F it, let me just connect my controller, and it was a game changer. And that was what transitioned me. It made it easier for me to play on, like, transition from PC to Steam Deck or vice versa, because I was already used to playing it on the controller when I played on PC. As far as flipping in game on PC, I have not done that. But now that that's been brought up, I will I'll go into third person view based on your recommendation, Danny. But I'll also try just for poops and giggles to see if maybe controller play is any easier or if it adds more difficult to me.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's another question from Arctic. Man, there's a lot. There's some I'm gonna save for my conversation with Pete. With Paris, and some with Pete, because Paris and I we're like a lot further in the game. So here's another one. This is a pretty good question. Game difficulties. Now, what type of difficulties is in the game if they are multiple to choose from? Which mode did you play it on? Now, for me, I love to play just normal, right? But there's going to be some cases where I'm like, okay, let me switch to easy or very easy to see what is the difference. I just want to see, or I want to also put it a lot harder just to see if the game, how difficult the game gets to. Mm-hmm. So there was one part in one of the quests, I had no med packs, nothing. I only had low on ammo, and I needed to figure out how in the world I'm going to get out of this situation. So I changed it to very easy just to see, and it helped me to eliminate the enemies a lot quicker. And some of those enemies that killed had med packs, had more ammo. So I was like, all right, I picked it up, and then I put it straight back to normal. It seems, and look, I might be wrong, but it seems like the only thing that just changes when you do that is it's more of like getting hurt. You will get less hit compared to when you play it on normal. So that's how I did it a couple times. Mm-hmm. But the majority I just been playing just normal the whole time. So another one that I changed also to easy was because I was having issues with the ship. And the ship, I was playing with the first ship that I got from the beginning of the game. The shield was terrible. I didn't have that many ammo. I didn't know what to do exactly, and I was just stuck in that location. It helped me to change it and also make it easier to me to battle it out with against the enemy. Mm. But now that I have a better ship, better ammo, better guns, all kinds of stuff, I haven't really been changing it at all, but this is like in the beginning of the game. So that's what I noticed. Now, another thing I want to bring up too, when you're playing the game and you're doing like the main quest, you're going to get more XP. There's going to be certain factions and certain quests where you will get a lot of experience points. So it's going to help you level up your character a lot better and a lot faster. Like this one quest, I think I leveled up like 2 or 3 times in one shot because this quest was very, very long. So I got so much XP. Now if you do a lot of the activity, you're going to get less XP. You also get XP when you're attacking and battle out with like enemies. You get like maybe 30, 40, 15. It all depends on the situation. So I just want to bring that up. But have you noticed any difference between difficulty, Pete? Are you playing normal, hard? I've been playing on normal since the beginning, and I haven't changed or shifted it. So I wouldn't know that. I try not to do that because I kind of feels like I'm almost cheating myself out of it. Sure. I'm sure that we all will get eventually into some moment of panic or despair where we're like you said,
low ammo, low health. I've gotten into that. I know exactly what you're talking about. That it's probably a totally different mission. But I accidentally put all my like when I got onto the plane or when I got onto I think it's Heritage. The ship was it Heritage? Is that the name of it?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Oh, that's right, because you don't even have it anymore. You probably got rid of it. You probably sold it.
No, I have it. I haven't used it so long.
Got it.
I haven't used it so long. Yeah.
But because I would get over encumbered in my games because I just collect everything. I just shove everything into me or I give it to my character. I give it to my companions in the level, or I give it to Vasco to hold on to it so I can carry more stuff. And then when I get back to the ship, I put everything into the ship's hold, right? But then I went in, I was like, oh, we got to go to this mission. Boom. Jumped off we landed, ran straight into the mission, started fighting, and realized I had no med packs on me. I had no heals. I had nothing on me other than what I picked up in the game. So it was like, oh no. Now I got to play extra careful because I don't have any of I have no heals. I've got no food, and then also no ammo. So now I've got to be picky with my shots. I've also come to realize that the pistols are amazing. Pistol play in this game is amazing. The first,
hands down.
The first 5-6 hours, nothing but pistol play. Just give me the pistol, and I can because the machine guns really weren't doing much for me. Now I've got it. So now I've got I've got 6 weapons to choose from pistol all the way to lasers and snipers. But man, those pistol gameplay is a lot more fun. Absolutely. And then you mix that with the jetpack. Boy, another reason why
I use that a lot.
Another reason why I like playing the bounty hunter is they've got a natural affinity for booster packs. So training for booster packs is much easier. So I'm like leveling up the booster pack. I'm just like up in the sky like pew, pew, pew. Oh man, it's so much more fun.
Well, here's one story about a booster pack for me. So I went to this planet because I was doing like a side quest, and I jumped. I was like really high up, right? And I jumped. I'm like, because I just love to make it quicker, so I don't have to use my stamina, right? So I'm there running, jump, about to land, and remember, I was so high that I was waiting to get closer to where I could press the booster, and I pressed it in a wrong time that my character fell and I broke my leg. And I couldn't.
Wow!
My leg was messed up. I couldn't really run. My health was going bad. It was terrible. So make sure to be careful when you come to that. Plus, remember, you could also get radiation.
Yeah.
You could get sick from like a species that you see. They'll poison you. Like there's all kinds of stuff that completely will mess up your character. And sometimes you go to bed, you might get a little bit better, but the true way to actually to cure yourself, you have to go to like a medical area and just 100% cure yourself through there.
Yeah.
So I just want to mention that. All right, another question: how many save slots or new games slots can you have? If my son wants to play, are we able to have 2 concurrent game plays going? Now, multiple things about that. So when it comes to like the console side, I'm playing in the same console with my wife Rihanna. She's been playing. So if you have 2 different accounts, you could save and do all kinds of stuff all over again. Doesn't matter. Now from the PC side, so I start playing. I'm there going far in the game, and I'm like, oh, let me go back because I want to capture the beginning of the game. I don't want to like capture stuff ahead and spoil some stuff for people that are going to play this for the first time, right? I'm capturing video. So I went back using my account, my Gamertag Godfrey. I created a new game, started it. Now, if I want to go back to the older game that I have, all you have to do, instead of going to continue, you go to load and you load the save files. So you have that. You could have unlimited. There's quick save, there's auto saves, and there's manual save. So it doesn't matter. Now, if you and your son are gonna play same device, like same PC, I recommend for him to have his own account so it won't interfere with the process that you're having. You get what I'm saying?
Or accidentally overwrite. That's another thing. Yeah.
Overwrite. Exactly. So as long he can log in and using his account, then you're fine.
I just
Right? So
checked
you don't want to mess
while
up.
Danny was talking, and I have 9 save slots. I don't know if it expands beyond that. I honestly don't think so, but I just checked and ran through it, and I have 9 previous saves, either auto saved or manual save slots. So I can't imagine it's going to have more than that, because I mean, you can't have it before every single mission in case you make a decision you don't like, or it ends in a different direction or different way that you originally intended. But I would probably say that's probably where you're going to hit your max. It's either going to be 9 or 10 slots total.
Yeah, agree. But that's a great question. Another one. Low screens, Pete. This is a great question. What are those like, if any? I can imagine watching your ship go in and out of the atmosphere is one. How are other areas like entry buildings? Is it the same Bethesda style like in Fallout, where the low screens to go in and out of buildings? How does Starfield deal with these? Are they noticeable? And how much time between cuts? Now, this is a great question because it all depends on, like, when you're flying out and going to another planet, there's going to be a loading screen. That's like automatically happens. But it's a lot quicker. It doesn't seem like it takes a long time. Even on the Series S, it doesn't feel long. So now, there's some cases when you go to different buildings in cities or in towns like that, you just open the door, there's no loading screen, it's already there. But there's going to be some that you might see a loading screen because maybe you're going down to the basement, you're going to a different location inside of the building. Like, there's going to be loading screens there, and what they show is artwork. You'll see like a ship, a different planet. You might see a species. You might see all kinds of stuff. It is always changing. I never noticed the same thing that they show during the loading screen. But you hear like the music in the background playing while it's loading. So that's how it's been my experience. People, how was your experience?
Loading screens have been rather fast. I don't know if it's hardware based, right? I don't know, because I'm playing on M.2 chips and 32 gigs of RAM and new hardware, where it's because of that, the loading screen is faster. It's maybe 3 to 8 seconds max on a loading screen. You know, like I'm taking off. So you see the ship pick up, fly off, quick 3-second video or just like some random artwork or moving graphics. And then my next part of my game continues. I am curious because there has been some discourse on the internet, curious about your opinion on this, and you can ask this to Paris maybe.
Sure.
About how they say, how free travel is supposed to be open and available for the entire game, but you don't get a chance to manually land your ship. You press the button and it lands the ship. You're getting ready to take off. For me, press and hold space bar. My ship takes off and and maybe that part is part of the loading screen where it's like, okay, now we've got to load the space mission. Here's the graphic of the ship picking up and then taking off, and then it goes into the next, 3 to 5 second loading screen. What's your thought or take on that? Right? Like, if this is supposed to be open world, fully explorable, why aren't we given the opportunity to self land or self take off on any of the ships or any of the planets?
So that's the people that are starting this conversation are the ones that are trying to be cool and like leaker, wannabe journalists, and they'll post this without doing their research. Now, like us, we've been having the game now for days. You could land anywhere. Doesn't have to be any icon. You could land anywhere from any planet and just walk around. The reason why you see those icons is because those are important places that you can land. And once you discover it and you land there, now you could do fast travel and all this stuff, right? But I went to a random planet and I landed at a random location without 0 icons there. Another thing too, yesterday I was, my wife was playing and it's her, starting really early in the game. And she saw like the blue icon inside the planet next to the icon of the location that you have to go, right? instead of her highlighting the location, the icon of the location, she highlighted and clicked the blue dot. And she landed in that exact blue dot instead of the location. She could have walked from there to the location that she needed to, right? So, yes, you could land anywhere and walk anywhere. Again, there's going to be some planets, depending on where you're wearing, like the gear-wise, that's going to protect you from radiation. Like in the early game, I just went to a random planet. I almost died within seconds because the radiation was so high and I didn't have the right gear to protect me. So I just left. I'm like bouncing and I went somewhere else. And I did that because I wanted to test it out. I wanted to discover that. And actually, Pete, right now, load your game, go to a random planet and just click somewhere that has nothing to do with the icon.
Can,
and
I have seen that. I have seen that. So I get that.
Yeah. But again, people seen this tweet from someone that now they think it's real. Oh no, this is not. It's not open. It is open. It is open. Now again, there's gonna be locations where you go and there's gonna be loading time and all that stuff. But yeah, 100% you could do that. I discovered random caves and random factories that there's nobody there, or there's enemy there, there's species, there's items, because it was my choice. It wasn't because the game was telling me, here, go here. No. The majority, of course, because that's part of the quest and the man campaign, right? But I explored because I just wanted to. And I was also exploring because here's another thing that's going to happen later in the game, that you're going to find some quests that's going to ask you for minerals, right? And when you highlight a planet and you scan it, it tells you what type of minerals is located in this planet. And you could go, grab your cutter, and just cut it and take it with you. So you could start doing crafting, or maybe you could give this to a certain person that needs it for like a mission or a quest or stuff like that. So that's why I was also traveling to different planets, because of that. You get what I'm saying? So you have a lot of choices, man. So that was a very long answer, but I just wanted to mention that very quick. A couple more questions for you, Pete, before we head out, because I also want to continue this conversation with Paris. All right. Let's see. There's so many questions here, man. So many questions. All right, this is another one from Two Medic. Let's see. How much time did you put into base shipping building?
I have not put a lot into ship building. I've done ship upgrades, but I am much. You and Paris are much further along than I am. I think you guys have like a week ahead of me in total gameplay, but I have not. I've only had the opportunity to go to some ports, see what ships they have available, and it's pretty interesting to see the ships that they have already. But basically, I went in. I've done 2 upgrades to my existing ship. And that's it. I added extra weapons and I added an extra shield, because I did notice there were times where I would come out of a planet and there'd be like 3 or 4, I think it's Vardor Alliance or something. They were like sitting there waiting for me, like, yo, what up? Like getting pressed up for my loot. And I was just like, yo, man, I ain't ready for all this. So, I was like, let me throw some coin at some upgrades. So I have not had any opportunity to do any base building. I know that's a huge thing in Fallout 76 and some of the other games. I haven't had a chance to do it. I know that's one of my missions eventually, because I've seen it already on my goal list of, setting up establishing a settlement, which is what it's called. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I'm looking at the question list that he put in there. Can you sell your ship for profit? Yes, but you need another ship to be able to get off the planet you're on, or you're stuck there.
You're stuck. Yeah. It makes you have money.
But because they're not cheap. But also take into account, if you're going to be on a planet,
not cheap,
that might be your opportunity to maybe set up and establish your settlement, right? Or in the city, just do missions nonstop until you get up, you make them enough bread to buy another ship. Can you change your color? Absolutely. I talked about this earlier. I went through and every single color aspect of my ship, I tuned to where I want it. Now I know I'm eventually gonna have to sell it. I'm gonna have to spend time doing that same exact thing as well again. But yeah, you can color your ship to And it's rather a robust, color options and things you can color. So like you don't press one thing and it's all white. Like you have to do like the base ship, and you have to do like your landing pods, and then the wings, and then your thrusters, and then your medical bay, your shields, and your weapons, etc. So you have options. So it's, unless you want to get plain Jane and just go all black or all gray or whatever, you can do that. And it's funny, the more you use it, it doesn't stay like pristine white. Like it'll get discolored from like the flames from the rockets or the thrusters. It's going to look a little weathered and beat up. But yes, you can.
Yep. Now, here's one that I want to mention too. Like I worked on my outpost, I think a couple times, and that one was because of a mission. And I think that's more because they want you to learn. It's part of like tutorial, like how to do things and stuff like that. So that's very, very important. Shipbuilding, I actually did that recently again because of the one of the quests that I had to do. And you could also do that on your own. Now, if you have multiple ships, and here's the thing that it got me confused again. I didn't know how to do it. Let's say you have multiple ships. You want to change to another ship. You go to an area where somebody, one of those like the ship, it's like a ship store or something like. I can't remember the exact name, but you could go there and you could say, you mentioned this to the person. I want to modify my ship. View and modify my ship. So once you do that, now you have the selection of choose your ship. Once you want to have that one that you want to choose from, just press start, and that will turn into your home ship from now on. So I just want to do that. I mentioned that because at first I was completely lost. There's so much stuff in this game that it could overwhelm you, like with like the stuff to do and all this stuff, and you don't know what to do next and all that. So I just want to bring that up. Now, here's another question. This is from Arctic. He says, which in-game system do you think others need to keep an eye on or has great benefits in the game? Is it food for buffs, ship build mods, weapon build mods, armor build mods, or base building? Now, for me, and I know Pete probably going to have a different answer, and I know Paris is going to have a different answer. For me, the ones that I was focusing on a lot more, there was three. First was the weapons. Second was armor, because later in the game it gets really hard, really, really hard later on. And also the ship build mods, where I wanted to add more engine, more missiles. If I want to do like this, the lighter, what is it like to go from like one solar system to like another solar system? You have to upgrade your engine. I think it's called Grav. Yeah. So you could upgrade that, and it will be a lot faster for you. As soon as you press that switch, you get like a couple seconds, and then you go to the next solar system. Very, very fast. So those are the things that I feel is good for you to work on. Again, people are gonna have different things. Food, I wasn't really focusing on that unless I really needed it. If I don't have like no med packs, and I just find like, let's say, a little item for me to eat, and I just eat it, maybe it'll give me like 5 points for my health and stuff. So what about you, Pete? Which one was the ones that you think people should be on the lookout for? And you're so far
for me,
for you,
ship, weapon, and armor build mods. Also because it's early in the game, don't fall in love with a piece of armor that you get because it looks cool or it's got a really cool buff. I don't know if you got it, but the one that I did, the one that I got early on, if I crouch, I turn invisible. Yeah, it's a legendary helmet.
I didn't have that one.
Like if you have it on, it's got pretty decent base stats from defense, but you crouch and you turn invisible. Yeah. Nobody sees you. So I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. So I use that, but then again, when you're looking at a game that's 60 to 80 hours or more, right? Or minimum, more. Right? Or more. Way more. And you've got early game loot that seems cool now. There's going to be stuff. Don't fall in love with it. Like I've beat myself up over this on games over the past, whether it's Witcher or Destiny or even more common or more recent Diablo 4, and now Starfield. Don't fall in love with your early game loot. You'll find something better, or or the same one, but with better stats later on. Run through them, sell them when you get them until you find something cool, until you find something cooler, then replace it immediately, sell it. Use as much of that as money towards your bank because you're going to need it when you're upgrading ships or buying ships or building out bases. You're going to need that loot anyway. So I would absolutely don't fall in love with armor or weapons. Those things are disposable. You will run through them. You'll go through a mission because this happened to me most recently. I had 3 guns that I fell in love with. Finished the mission, and I had 7 weapons that I fell in love with, and those last 3 went into the scrapper, dumped them immediately because I don't use them anymore. A quick hint, when you're collecting weapons, unless you want to collect the weapons to sell them, there's no weight to them. Little trick. There's no weight to ammo, so keep one of them. Don't worry about everything else. And another thing that I've done, I'll finish a mission and then I'll go and I'll dump everything in my stuff into the ship and my Vasco, let's go. I'll take Vasco back in. I'll come back out. I'll go back to over there and I'll collect all the guns again and shove them into him and then just take them all back to the base or to my ship and then dump them in the ship. And then when you get to another base, when you get to another, another outpost or a settlement, you can go to the thing and just sell directly from your ship. So you don't have to carry it back and forth. If you carry it, you can't sell it at the outpost. So there's another hint. Leave it in your ship. And then when you get to the base or your settlement or whatever, you can sell it directly out of the inventory in your ship and you don't have to carry it and be encumbered. But that's what I would say.
Perfect, man. Well, Pete, I just want to say thank you, man, for joining in this episode. I'm going to continue now with fan mail with Paris. So we're going to be talking about all this other questions. And I know there's going to be more questions submitted by our listeners and everything. So anything else you want to say before I go to Paris?
I think that's it for now. Again, if space exploration and Bethesda games are your jam, congratulations to the next 2 years of your life, because Starfield is it.
Yes.
If you're curious about it, I'm not gonna say, oh, this is a must buy game. You have to go spend your money. Watch videos when as of Wednesday when the NDA pops up. Watch content creators on YouTube and Facebook, gaming and Twitch, and watch the gameplay and see if it scratches that itch for what you think you want to do. I'm having an enjoyable time playing it. I know Paris and Danny are enjoying it, but it may not be enjoyable for everybody. So just because we enjoy it does not automatically guarantee that you will. But I'd rather that everybody make that decision on their own and from either watching content creators that they follow and they trust, or sometimes you just gotta say F it and just get it and see what happens. I'm having a good time with it. I know I'm going to have a good time with it over the next over the next 6 to 8 months at least. So yeah, I say go buy it, but that's just me.
Yeah, and it might be more than that, Pete. It might be years to come. There's going to be so much content. Yeah. All right. I hope everybody had a great time listening to our 2-part episode here, all about Starfield. It was a great, we had a great time recording this, and please let us know your thoughts. Just go right now, the email fanmail@gamertagradio.com. Hit me up on Twitter or X. Just look for at Godfrey or Gamertag Radio. And please spread the word about these episodes and let us know your thoughts. Hit us up, Discord, everywhere. All right. Until next time. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.